All right, guys, welcome to the Media Hijack Podcast. I'm your host, Billy Walters, and joining me is Chris Unholy Jesus. Yeah.
What's up, family? Happy Tuesday, and welcome back.
Happy Tuesday, guys, and welcome back to another episode of the Media Hijack. This is episode 207. Before we get started, if you guys want to get some official Media Hijack t-shirts like this one, I don't know if Chris got his on. Do he? Yes, he does. You can head over to the MediaHijack.com. Grab you some official Media Hijack t-shirts. Also, if you guys want to catch the live replay for this Twitch video, you can head over to our YouTube channel. We post all the shows the next day. And then always don't forget to rate, comment, subscribe. And yeah, let's get some 5 stars in there. Leave some comments.
Come on, man.
All right, so first topic for tonight, we're going to be talking about the healthcare CEO. We all know what happened with him.
Man, shit blew up all over the news.
So we're gonna be talking about that. And there's like some new, I don't know if it's conspiracies, but there's like the dude, he left like little Easter eggs on his Instagram. If you knew about that.
Oh, the dude that did this?
Yeah, the dude Luigi.
No, there's so much shit coming out about this dude, man.
He left some Pokemon Easter eggs. Everything has to do with the Bible, verse 386, something like that. I was like,
I heard he was a Pokemon fan.
And then like he had 286 posts, but then if you go to the Bible, you read that post, it tells you something about greed and mankind, or yeah.
See, this is man. I knew I was gonna catch everything because there's so much shit coming out about this dude right now. It ain't even funny.
So what's his full name? Because he did recently got caught yesterday, right? Is it yesterday?
Yes, man. I was shocked they caught him. I thought he was gonna go on way longer than that, man. Yeah, his name is actually, what the fuck? My notes just closed out. Hold on. Yeah, his name is actually, my bad, folks.
Luigi. Let's just say Luigi.
Yeah, Luigi Mangoli or something like that. Yeah, his name's like Luigi. They just caught his ass at a McDonald's, bro. Like, they caught his ass catching a Happy Meal, and
damn.
Oh man.
Somebody had a snitch on him,
They did, man, and the internet's been trying to hunt down this McDonald's employee, because it was a McDonald's employee that gave it up. The McDonald's employee ran their mouth too much.
Man, the internet is wild, dude. Like,
it's crazy, man. I see why cops run to the internet a lot, and they don't. I always had a feeling that the police in America, they run to the internet a lot to try to figure out, basically the internet's the new age, like detectives or eyewitness accounts type thing, where they go to the internet a lot to maybe help solve the crimes, but probably don't want to get internet any credit. Like, remember that girl Gabby? What's her name? The one that Petito? Yes. Yeah. And then the internet sleuths kind of figured it out, but the cops didn't really want to. The cops got kind of weird with it. They didn't want to admit that the internet helped out a lot, but yeah, man.
It shows you like the community is just as strong as like the whole detective squad and shit.
Straight up, man, and don't even get paid for this shit.
But the wild thing was like the internet was on the assassin side. I was like, wait, what?
Blew up, boy. Yeah. I never seen nothing like this in a while, man. Like within I say the past 9 years, politics is like tore this country apart, man. It's been so tribal in America. You can't even imagine it, man. I would say, and probably for anyone else who's listening, can agree that there's never been anything like this ever in our entire lives as far as politics dividing people. Like, Thanksgivings are getting shorter with family members, as well as Christmas going over to families' houses. Friendships was torn apart in these past 9 years. There's only been a few times where I would say where America came together to agree on something. One is definitely Epstein didn't self-delete himself. That's one where I saw everybody from both sides was like, ooh, somebody did it, and it wasn't what they keep telling us is what happened. And this is the second time I've seen something now where both sides, whether you a fan of Trump or whoever, like Biden, Kamala, or whoever the hell else is out there, this is one thing where everybody came together like, yes, we're going for. He's the hero.
Yeah, I mean but then the weird part is like this dude murdered somebody, and then they cheered him on. Like he was a hero. Yeah. I was like, "Whoa, this shit's crazy." I didn't know the details of this whole thing, but then I found out with the whole healthcare system how they were denying people what was it, like life-threatening whatever procedures and shit.
Yeah, the healthcare system is awful, man. Like, if you want to compare it to like other developed nations around the world or first world nations, whatever you want to call them, America has like the worst fucking healthcare system imaginable, man. And a lot of it comes down to greed, which is like one of like top 3 of America's biggest sins. This country's greedy to a fault, man. And they even on the health level of healthcare, I remember reading before saying like somewhere between like 36 to like 44,000 Americans die a year because of lack of healthcare. I'll give an example of how expensive healthcare is. My father, which everyone who's been keeping up with the show, whatever, who knows me personally, knows that he recently had an awful stroke, right? I found out back when he was in the hospital how much they charge him a day just to be in the hospital, and it's $1,500.
Jeez.
Luckily, my dad has health care, and he's covered by the VA because he's a veteran. He did 23 years in the military. Right. So the VA is paying for all that every single day for him. And every day I was going to the hospital to see him, there was a part of my brain thinking like, oh my God, I can't imagine what it's like for regular people who don't have this shit. Yeah. Who's not covered by any kind of health care. That's a lot, man. And it's causing like a lot of debt in this country. Like medical debt's like one of the top 3 reasons why people are in debt in this country anyways, man. And it's awful. It's awful. So with the rise of somebody like Luigi coming out and, trying to take out this CEO guy, America's championing that shit because everybody, whether everyone knows somebody or who has someone in their life or may have been them at some point, have been affected by healthcare where weird shit has happened where they got all this massive debt on top of debt. Like for example, I just found out recently I think it might be with actually United Healthcare, which is what the guy we're going to talk about in a little bit was the CEO for. They were doing like weird things like charging people past like, say, if you were in surgery and then you paid X amount of dollars to have anesthesia for like 15 minutes in your body, the healthcare system will actually base it off how much you're paying for anesthesia for your surgery. And if it goes past 15 minutes, they cut it off. They cut off the payment. So any more anesthesia past 15 minutes more than your surgery, you're paying like $7,000 or something. Shit. And not even realizing it until after the surgery's over with. You're like, man, I thought my healthcare was going to cover it. Only to find out like, no, your healthcare only covered 15 minutes of anesthesia. So now you are in debt on $7,000 and more than likely going to stack up some more. And I know people right now.
How did they get to that point?
Country's greed, the government, man. This thing is at the end of the day,
dude.
Honestly, at the end of the day, if you ever think about why things, for example, like groceries, a lot of people complain about how groceries are expensive, bacon and all this other shit, gas prices going up. The reason why these things are, it isn't because of the sitting president. I've heard people say it's Trump's fault. I've heard people say it was Biden's fault. At the end of the day, it's really no president's fault. It's corporations abusing prices. And the president can do things like put caps on these things to keep them from abusing this shit. The thing is, though, ain't no president's done this shit yet. So it is kind of their fault in a way. They can't stop it. But at the end of the day, it's mainly companies abusing their power and abusing their privilege and whatnot to just raise these prices up to the max. And people are suffering for it, and it's getting harder to buy food. Gas is getting expensive, and people ain't getting paid more at their jobs. Healthcare is
yeah. So then, like, it does make sense why like people champion this dude, the assassin guy, because like if you think about it, more people now that wasn't even looking into healthcare like that, everybody's looking at healthcare now.
It put it on notice, man.
He put that whole shit on the map. Now they're gonna look at it. Everybody's gonna run the numbers like, hey. This shit is fucking greedy as fuck. It's like a fucking scam.
Straight scam, man. Yeah, and like, I kind of knew about this for years because, like, I watch politics to a fault, man. Sometimes I need to take a step back from it because it's really depressing. We realize, like, oh shit, they're selling out all of us to these corporations, and we don't even realize it until you get to the situation, like a medical situation. You're like, oh fuck, this is horrible. and I wish that it didn't have to get to this point for some man to get smoked in the middle of fucking New York for people to take notice, or maybe for a corporation to be like, oh shit, maybe this might be a problem. Like, this has always been a problem.
Yeah.
And not to mention too, like, this guy. All right, so the CEO that got taken out, like, was it last week now, December 4th? His name was Brian Thompson. He was actually the CEO of United Healthcare Group. And while he was there, actually, he comes from Iowa. I did some research about him. Came from Iowa, had a bachelor in business and administration, a major in accounting, yada, yada, yada. He wound up becoming the CEO of actually United Healthcare back in 2021, right? So just like a little over a year, actually about 3 years ago now, he became the CEO. But just a little over a year ago, he implemented this AI system, this AI program into the United Healthcare United Healthcare. The AI he wound up implementing basically was kind of like not kind of like it was straight up just denying people even with the most severe of like injuries. Like the AI was basically cutting things down to like a 1 percentile type of thing, running math and numbers and stuff. So if you came up in there with a broken leg going to this hospital or anything covered under United Healthcare, United Healthcare wouldn't cover your if you broke a leg. It would have to be like a serious like I'm dying type of thing. And there's stories are saying that United Healthcare didn't even cover that at all itself. United Healthcare kind of just like, we're going to let the AI run this shit, and then the AI is going to spit out some numbers. And it ended up with a lot of people being denied like claims, and they had to pay out of pocket for some of their surgeries as well too, and creating this whole medical debt system. I didn't even know they was running the AI program in healthcare until this situation came out. I was shocked to hear it. And as we all know, especially anybody who runs and talks about AI or even has an inkling to understand how AI does, it's going to run numbers in the most efficient way to either cut costs or population or whatever the hell they're going to do.
All you got to tell is like, hey, how can we save the most money? Like, oh,
yes,
easy. Francis over there, he don't need a leg. Because we're trying to get the best numbers, right? We can cut all the little things out. And then all those little people got messed up, basically.
Oh, yeah.
The thing is, like you said, they started using the AI. Did they say what year they started using like AI as far as them picking who and what they the people that they wanted to treat?
I think it's just over a year ago. The AI thing is still new, from my understanding. If I'm hearing it correctly, I'm hearing different shit. But from what I read about before, was saying that it was just like over a year ago they implemented an AI program, and it said that the algorithm in question, known as NH Predict, that's the name of the healthcare AI program, allegedly had a 90% error rate. And according to the families of 2 deceased men who filed a lawsuit, because dig this, about a year ago, November of last year, 2023, 2 people wound up dying because of the result of this AI, and the AI denied them basically medical need when they needed it, and they wound up dying. And the family members of these 2 people that died filed lawsuits against because they found out like, oh shit, the AI literally just killed our loved one off of percentile and numbers and stuff and cost. But at the end of the day, because they're using this for saving costs. This is what they're using the AI for, straight up to save money. And so the families wound up doing a lawsuit about it. And it says the investigation cited that the lawsuit found United Health pressured medical employees to follow an algorithm which predicts a patient's length to stay in a hospital to issue payment denials to people with Medicare Advantage plans. Internal documents revealed that managers within the company set a goal for clinical employees to keep patients' rehab stays within 1% of the days projected by the algorithm. So if you had, I'm assuming how it's going down is like, if you had to be in rehab for like 30 days, out of everybody that go to rehab in a hospital, you like the 1% that gets to 30 days. Everybody else probably got cut short. They had to go rehab for a week, which is probably shorter than what maybe people injuries deserve, you know? That's what I'm assuming was what happened. People got kicked out of rehab way quicker than what they were normally supposed to. And it was all because AI is like, okay, we're only going to let 1% get 30 days of rehab for what they need. Everybody's going to get like kind of get the boot. So it's kind of cost effective. The machine going to do it the best way.
Yeah. I think this is just like, it's basic AI. It's not like a like intelligent AI that uses like empathy.
No, it's just like run numbers.
Yeah, it's just run numbers. It's like a regular, it's like a calculator basically.
I'm pretty sure ChatGPT probably has more emotion than this AI.
I guarantee ChatGPT will probably be like, yeah, you would be saving money, but at what cost of this person being able to live or even have a regular stable life? Yeah, I think whatever AI they use on their system, it's just a regular calculator, just calculating numbers.
Oh yeah, just crunch.
Trying to make a bad name on AI and shit, you know. AI is scary.
It's scary. It can be used for good and bad. It all depends on what you use it for. This was bad. Bad use of AI, straight up. This is
well, the programmer, whoever and whoever paid that programmer to do that.
I was about to say that too. Whoever signed his check.
Oh, which is that CEO guy, right?
Oh.
There we go, back at square one. And I think that's the reason why. Well, even though he probably wasn't the reason why, somebody had to get shot. If you think about it, like how that dude was thinking, he's like, all right, who can I shoot to make the most like, you know, like
the biggest impact.
Yeah, the biggest impact. Then it's easy. Just you take out the CEO, even though maybe he wasn't responsible for nothing. Like he was probably a super normal ass dude, and then he's just following other directions from other people. Yeah, because basically that's how CEO runs. They don't like. There's people behind them, just like the presidents. People behind them that do all the deciding. Yeah.
There's a whole
they
board.
Pull the trigger. That's it. So like he was probably just like a cool ass dude. He just got shot. Because he was, he was the face behind it.
Yeah, but also too, I was reading some stuff too, saying that he wasn't really a good person because he was really about kind of like cutting costs and stuff.
Okay, I don't know personally, but maybe.
Yeah, but because I came from the same angle as you came from at first, so I was like, damn, that's messed up because he's just the CEO. Like, it's more than just him that allowed this shit to get passed through. But it seemed like he was like the spearhead of it. So
right. He still is at the top.
Yeah,
because I was looking at it like that. I was like, hey, I just work here. Pop.
Right, don't shoot, bro. I'm just CEO, but
I just work. Yeah, but he is at the top, and if you wanted to make a message, you go all the way to the top.
Hell yeah, and,
like he did
and that's what it did, man. I know some people out there who probably like maybe cynical towards the situation, like, well, he did something, or like he did something and it didn't change anything, but he did, because that's the conversation right now is healthcare, and this has been a massive issue in America for a long time, a long ass motherfucking time, to where places like Germany put this shit to shame when it comes to healthcare, because that people go broke over
like
this shit.
In Asia too. Like I hear a lot of people, they do a lot of treatments, like they go over to Asia, then they get treated for like whatever. Let's say they broke their arm, and they say they go into the hospital, they get seated, and then like within just like less than an hour, they get diagnosed and everything. They're like, oh yeah, you got a fractured arm, and then they only charge them like $100-$200 for a whole X-ray and everything without like insurance.
And X-ray by something like $400.
Shit, or even fucking thousands of dollars.
Man. X-ray is expensive.
You're like in and out, like quick and fast.
Man, when I caught COVID last year, I went to the hospital to get checked, man. My shit was like $160 just to see if I had COVID. I was like, but I should have just. I knew I had it. I should have just didn't even went to the hospital. I knew I had it, but I needed an excuse for work. I needed to show proof that I had it.
Oh yeah, you got to get that proof. So that's what I had to do too.
Which I go, I think that's a scam. I think it's a scam to get people to pay, like to get out of work. That's what I felt like. I was like, man, I just paid like $160 to get out of work for like 5 days.
Damn. I got like the free test.
Nah, man, I had no free test, no nothing. I had shitty healthcare for my job too. They didn't really.
Yeah, another thing. What's funny about the story? Like you were telling me a few days ago, you're saying like they're calling him Assassin Bay.
Oh like, people, man,
like he became like somebody that people like.
Man, and like he's like, it was like this situation of where men want to be him and women want to be with him.
Yeah, it got so crazy because like
fucking crazy.
Yeah, it got so crazy where I saw this thing where they're saying people were finding the jacket he was wearing, and they're like, hey, we found who made his jacket, and they said that jacket was sold out everywhere. Like everybody bought that jacket, like it was like a Halloween costume.
Wow, man, this dude's like Batman. Some people saying like he's Batman, and I get the reason why people call him Batman in a little bit, but a lot of people seem like, yo, he's like the hero that we needed, man. Because that's at the end of the day, man. I don't give a fuck who you vote for or who you like as a president or whatever politician, whatever the case may be. At the end of the day, don't nobody like corporations. I don't give a fuck who you are. Don't nobody like CEOs. Because on some level, we get like, hey, we are kind of getting done dirty at the top.
Right,
and this man just came out of nowhere. Because they said like, all right. So what happened with? Let me get this dude right quick. So the dude, Brian Thomas, I think that's that dude's name. Brian Thomas. Yeah, he went walking out of that night. So this is the moment of his passing away, untimely passing. He was actually going to like a United Healthcare Group's annual investor meeting, right? And it was right across the street from his hotel. He was staying at the Marriott. So the first time I even heard about this story, I saw this video going viral of this dude walking out of a hotel, and as soon as he walks out, dude comes out the shadow, hoodie up, pop, pop. You see him shoot him in the back, and and the dude turns around and he shoots him again, and he winds up falling over.
Damn.
Some innocent person ran away, and the guy didn't even bother with the innocent person. He just jetted off, and then that was the end of it. And the first thing I realized was commendable with that, he didn't shoot the eyewitness. I was like, okay, he ain't that bad. Some people would have smoked the eyewitness. I think the eyewitness maybe like on a smoke break or something. I don't know. But there was like somebody in the corner who saw that shit and then bolted. As soon as he came out and started dropping shots, with Brian Thompson, they found like bullets in his back, and they found one in his calf or whatever, and one in his chest. Like, he lit his ass up. A lot of people when the video first came out was saying like, oh, well, he must be inexperienced because his gun kept jamming. I mean, he's just no expert. But when the cops was like, well, he does know his way around a gun because every time it jammed, he cleared it, which anybody knows how to work around a gun. Every time your gun jams, slap, rack, boom, boom, you keep shooting. You ain't got to drop it or nothing. It's a simple thing you got to do to get the bullet out. Yeah. Keep the cycle going.
Like that was another thing why they were saying like was he like a professional or was he like an amateur and stuff? Because like later what I was hearing were just saying like, yeah, he was an amateur because his gun was jamming, and then on top of that he left so much like the DNA evidence like through the whole track of what he was like the whole location he was at. It's like he left too much shit, So they're like a professional. Like if you're a professional, all this shit would have been clean. Yeah, and there probably wouldn't even be any cameras.
Yeah, true.
But this dude, it seemed like it was a personal thing. It wasn't something where he was like, all right, I'm going to pay somebody on the dark web to do a job like this.
Yeah.
Because it probably would have been way too expensive.
Oh, yeah, man. Ain't nobody can afford it. Most people can't afford that shit.
Yeah, they're like, all right, a hit on a CEO of healthcare. Yeah, that'd be like $1.5 million.
Yes, I'm like, if he was a hired assassin to take this dude out, it would have to be somebody from the top that paid him. Us regular folks ain't paying him.
It has to be in the millions for an assassination like that.
I also did hear, too, that Brian Thompson, and I'm glad we talked about this, too, because I almost forgot about this. Brian Thompson was actually going through a divorce at this time right now. So that was another thing I kind of peeped. I was like, this before they revealed who Luigi was on the news and everything, there was the information coming out saying that, well, Brian Thompson just went through a divorce, so da-da-da-da. And I'm thinking, oh shit, what if he's a hired assassin by his wife? But I was like, I hope not. That would destroy the movement, I think.
Well, I mean, it's not out of the question. Like you got to put all these things in now. Like if it goes to the court, right? And you got to see like, hey, who else could be involved in this?
All right, man. But they say like, usually when like somebody goes down, if you got a spouse, the spouse is always the number one suspect. Look at the spouse.
She's probably being interviewed right now. Like, hey,
do you know this man, Luigi? Did you make love with him?
Let me see all your text records. Let me see all your email records, everything.
Yeah, they're going straight to Verizon.
Shit, come on. If anybody dies like that, then this is like big shit, apparently. So,
massive story.
Everybody,
man.
A brother, a sister, a friend, they're all involved. Like everybody is probably, on the list of getting checked out and shit.
Oh, especially when I explained to you a little bit about who, like his family. I don't know a lot about his family yet, but I'm gonna get to it in a second because the list this is gonna be a big story, man. This is more to this shit than I think, man. Because he come from a big family. He ain't no small time. He come from a big family, which leads to more questions. But before I get to that at all, he did escape on a city bike. I don't know if I mentioned that. He got away on a city bike, and the cops were trying to find like a microchip within the city bike, so they had to contact the company, yada, yada, yada. But it didn't dawn on me. I was like, oh, shit. What if just, just somebody nowadays, if you want to get away, just ride on a bike. Ain't got no damn plates on it, no nothing. You just go, I guess. Just have a hoodie up, a hat, something.
Yeah, but when you said like city bike, is this like one of those bikes that's like one of those birds?
Like a bird bike or something. Yeah, it was like those type of bikes. Yeah,
it's like electric too.
Yeah, and he got away and he found a chip in it. And then, so NYPD was like, yo, we're going to like investigate some more into this because we are going to start asking the company, who did he swipe his card and who was tracking his bike? Who purchased his bike at the time of when he got it, yada, yada. And so, yeah. And then it was weird too because like after he escaped, they found like a book bag of Monopoly money at a park nearby. Yeah, he had dumped his backpack. I think, if I'm not mistaken, it had fake IDs in it and whatnot, and he had Monopoly money in it. And that was another thing that was weird. Like, why would he have Monopoly money? This makes no sense. But they found it at a park nearby, if I'm not mistaken. After they did, they went and checked out Brian Thompson, because Brian Thompson, like I said, he got smoked in the street. It was like 6:45 a.m. They took him to hospital, and like an hour later, they pronounced him deceased.
Yeah, another thing I heard was that they said his gun was probably 3D printed.
Yes, a ghost gun.
Yeah.
Yes,
that's crazy, man.
Yeah, so Luigi Maggiano's, hope I pronounced the name right, 3D printed gun, and the problem of traceable firearms is what people are starting to say now, because 3D firearms have been around for a little bit, not too long, but just enough to where, it's still in the beginning phases, in my opinion. But this actually is a historical event now, because people are saying this is the first time ever in history that a 3D printed gun was used in a high case.
Right.
Murder, an assassination.
Right. Yeah.
And I think the United States, at least the government, might be getting worried about, oh shit, we got 3D printed guns rolling around out here. Because if they're going, people are getting aggravated in America right now, like more than ever before, man. And so I feel like the government might be getting scared, and they're kind of like, oh shit, we have guns out there that untraceable.
I mean, they knew this was coming a long time ago. Like the government, they are really ahead of like us and stuff. They already the main problem is when they found out when people like this use like a 3D printed gun to do an assassination, and then it blows up on the news. It already like put that shit out there where a lot of people's like, if they want to do something like, all right, like we can print a gun out. So now a lot of people saw that, they're like, holy shit.
Yeah, I feel like the media, which in a lot of ways, I don't give a fuck what you watch. Fox News, CNN, MSNBC, it's all corporate owned, and they spit the shit from the top with what you need to hear. That's why a lot of people watch the news on YouTube at this point. There ain't anybody that's sane, anyways.
Yeah.
And it seems like with the news, they're trying to, at least in my opinion, I feel like they're trying to downplay what this dude just did and make it seem like he was like a rookie. And even if he was, that's even more embarrassing, the simple fact that he was able to even pull this off. So I think they're trying to like quell everyone, calm them down, and say like, hey, don't make no more attempts. And
yeah, I mean, I don't even think it's like anything big saying he's a rookie or an amateur or a professional or not a professional. The dude was 26 years old, right?
Yeah, young guy.
They said he graduated from like an Ivy League college. He's a smart kid.
Guy,
he's not a dumb kid. And I heard him talk. Like he was like valedictorian, whatever, at his school and shit.
Yes.
And he knows how to talk. Like so this whole situation with him killing this dude is definitely it's a message. It's a huge message. And then he just happens to be the one that's taking the downfall for it.
Yeah.
I don't know if saying to kill somebody to make a big ass message like that, but I think the way he did it did created that message like, hey, everybody gotta look at their healthcare now.
Yeah.
Are we being scammed? Like, are they screwing a lot of people?
The conversation has been created.
Yeah, there you go.
You create the conversation, man. It's putting a lot of people on notice and that's what I think at the end of the day, that's what he wants. Because since he's been captured, no matter what they do to this man, whether they give him life, if they want to go to fucking execute him or whatever, at the end of the day, his mission is done. He did what he wanted to do, and he got it out,
Imagine that, right?
Dude, he won, man.
Imagine he was only here on this earth just to do that one thing so they can clean up this whole healthcare system.
And well, here's the thing, too.
And it was him.
And it was him, because there was people that, like, I was hearing stories about, like, how they went through his X page, and they went through his Instagram, and they was finding pictures of, like, broken bones and stuff, so they kind of figured that, because at this moment, we still don't know why he did it. But they were trying to say, like, okay, maybe the rumor was that he may have lost a loved one at some point to this algorithm, or maybe he was injured at some point and he was denied some kind of medical claim or something. But then you come to find out, this man, Luigi, comes from a very, very well-off family. In fact, right before the show started, I got caught up reading some stuff, and it's slowly bleeding out my brain of who this man is. But his brother's involved in politics. His brother's a politician. And so now this builds a whole nother layer of like, okay, he's not some kind of poor man that some people would think he was that suffered from the system. He could easily afford health care. Is he Batman? Batman's rich. Is he Batman? Right. Like, is he Batman that looks
got
like
caught, man? He left Robin at home.
Is he Batman that looks like Timothy Chalamet or something? Like,
so he was well off. Like his family was probably very wealthy. right?
banking good money, man.
I kind of heard that too.
His sister's he has a sister that's like successful at something too. Like she comes from a place of money, man. So it's kind of like I want to keep my hopes up that he was doing it for the little people. I'm hoping it wasn't some kind of like other bullshit that really didn't matter. But
if he had like a life like that, like I think he's definitely doing it, like not just for the little people, but for like for humanity, basically.
Yeah, I mean, they ran a social media account, which is about the equivalent of running somebody's finger like prints this day and age. They ran through his whole social media account. It seemed like he was on some kind of like fuck the healthcare system. So it tracks though. That's the thing.
Because you never seen like any like anybody do anything like that, especially like to the healthcare system. It's usually like to something else, but it wasn't to like something that actually affects people like in their daily lives. Like if they were to get treatment or whatever, like nobody ever fought for that shit. If you think about it, right? Like they probably do fight about it, and they scream and yell about it, but it was never like this big.
Extreme. No.
Extreme, yeah.
There's definitely people out there. In politics, I could probably count on one hand how many politicians really be fighting for healthcare, for better healthcare.
Right.
It ain't a lot, man. A lot of these politicians kind of like, oh well, we're gonna still make you pay a shit ton.
Yeah.
But for the most part,
yeah, go ahead.
Is that? But for the most part, when like there are people out there that's like YouTubers and got podcasts and whatnot who be trying to like be like, hey, Americans, healthcare sucks. Stop! Don't get too used to it, because when you get used to it, you can't see the problem anymore. And then when you've been hammered down like basically our entire existence, well, how healthcare has been in this country, it just feels like the normal. And when it feels normal, that's a problem. So there's been people out there trying to call it out and really trying to push back against not even just like the Republican or Trump or anything like that, just pushing against like Biden too or some shit, because he got some old school thinking ways too, and pushing against Kamala when she was running too. But at this point now, it's I feel like it's getting to the breaking point, maybe, and this is like the most extreme version we've ever seen out of anybody trying to fight against healthcare. At least in my eyes, from watching politics and how it unfolds in America, I ain't never seen nobody come out and try to take out nobody from the healthcare industry. The CEOs, they're hard to track. You don't. A lot of times, you don't even know they exist. Because a lot of people want to, like, when it comes to healthcare, want to blame doctors and nurses. But I realized this too recently with my father's situation. A lot of these doctors and nurses do not like the healthcare system either, because it hinders them from actually trying to help people. Like, well, I can't help this person because they can't afford it. As a doctor, that's against my Hippocratic oath, but I'm supposed to follow CEO policy shit from the top. And it gets weird for doctors. So doctors don't like the healthcare, nurses don't like it, regular people don't like it. And it was going to happen eventually.
That whole shit is fucked up. The whole thing. And I bet from the beginning, when hospitals were built from the beginning, it was never like that. It was never like, we gotta check your insurance first. It was like, hey, we're gonna help you out. Like, that's a place where you get help, not a place where you fucking like get fucking scammed and shit. Have to pay an arm and a leg, literally, to fix an arm and a leg.
Right, and I just found out like last year, the year before, that ambulances don't even like belong to the hospital. They're like a separate company. They're like contracted.
Damn, I didn't know that.
Man, dude, that's why they charge so much money to get an ambulance ride to the hospital. Like, I used to hear stories of people getting shot, and they would take Ubers to the hospital because they couldn't afford a $3,000 hospital ride.
They probably had to do it before. They're like, oh shit, that bill was too high.
Yeah, and
imagine getting airlifted.
Man, I don't even want to think about that. That's even crazier.
That's like a damn $40,000-$50,000 maybe.
And a lot of people blame this shit, and a lot of people try to blame, like, a lot of people try to blame hospitals for it. And at the end of the day, this is true though. Hospitals don't want to accept ambulances and paramedics as a part of the hospital, because that means they got to pay more money to people.
Right.
So ambulances, since they're contracted to the hospital, they actually have to pay under their own little tiny umbrella, like the employees, the paramedics people, they have to pay out of pocket. But the only way they can afford to pay all these paramedics to help these people, they have to raise prices on how much it costs to take an ambulance to the hospital, because the hospital refuses to take them in under the fold to lower costs.
Right.
Thumbs up. Yeah, the hospital, like a lot of hospitals refuse, actually on a corporate level, they refuse to take like ambulances under their umbrella because, they don't want to pay for it.
Right.
And so they'd rather people pay more to get to take an ambulance than, taking them in. It's weird, man. It is psychotic. And they really do put a human price tag on human lives to the point where I know people was like, yo, if I ever get caught up in some shit and I'm in a hospital on a ventilator, in order to keep you from being in debt, let me go. What?
Exactly. Dude, if I was ever on a ventilator, I'll unplug that shit myself. Just to lessen the burden on whoever's watching over me, because I would never want that for you guys.
And it's crazy too, because even with like with my dad's situation, we was like, the doctor told us like, hey, if anything happens to your loved one, and he asked my mom, they say anything happens to your husband, and since y'all know each other too that closely, that's why we're asking you, Mrs. Jones, if he goes into cardiac arrest or something happens and he stops breathing, do you want us to perform CPR? Now, I'm almost certain my dad would probably say no if it got to that point.
Right.
Because he wouldn't want to be brought back to life. He's like, just let me go, da-da-da. And my mom looked at me and was like, I don't know what to say because I don't want to lose him. And I said yes. I went against his wishes on it. Now, granted, my father was never put in a position where they needed to use CPR on him, but I went against his wishes because I knew that he didn't want this either. But in that situation, when the pressure's on you, and I know that's what he wants, I'm like, I can't let him go. And that was the issue I had. I couldn't let my father go like that. And I know he probably mad at me for this or whatever. Because I felt like the decision fell on me at the last second, which I didn't even...
That's heavy.
I didn't even ask for it. But I remember my mom looked at me because she was like, I don't know what to say because I don't want... Like, we still got some living to do, and I don't want to be without your dad. And she looked at me like, what are we going to do? And I was like, if you need CPR, then give it to him.
Right.
And that's when he gets the best wishes. I'm almost certain. That's, I think, is in his will, if I'm not mistaken. And I was like, I felt bad for doing it, but they never had to do CPR on my father after his stroke, but I still went against what he wanted. So it's easy. And even though I understand the situation, it's hard not to want to let somebody go, man. It's tough.
Right.
It's fucking tough, man. Difficult choice.
Yeah.
So yeah, this healthcare shit.
It fell on you like that?
Man, and I realized this was because my mom was like, I don't know what to say. Like, I know what I should say, but I can't say it because I know he ain't gonna when your father won't want this. And I'm like,
dude, if that was in my will,
right? And everyone's the same thing. Everyone I've heard says the same thing. Like, I don't want that.
Yeah, that is hard.
Yeah, man, it's tough, man, and it's kind of like it's a selfish act too, man. I felt selfish for doing it. I was like, God.
No, you're doing what you thought was right.
Yeah, and it was like kind of I didn't even have time to even process it, man.
Yeah, you did. You did the right. I mean, you did the right thing because your mom. I mean, she was looking at you like.
Yeah,
because she wanted to do that too.
Yeah, when that doctor sat down and explained to us everything that was going on with my father, it felt like I was even. I feel like I had a weird out of body experience. I felt like I was even there. I felt like I was watching myself and all of us in the room just be depressed and hurt, and then we're all crying. The doctor tells us like, "Look, this is bad. His chances of survival ain't gonna make it." And I'm trying to process like, I just heard this shit yesterday. I had to drive from Utah to Vegas, fly from Vegas to Georgia, and that all together was like 18 hours altogether. Left straight from Hartsfield, went to fucking Grady, didn't go back to the house enough, and saw him. I still had my bags on me from the airport when I saw my dad.
Damn.
And my brain, and then the doctor was like, "What do y'all want to do?" And I'm like, I can't even fucking think, bro. Like, I'm trying to like
crazy. Jesus Christ.
Awful, man. Awful situation, man. And that's why with this whole situation, I see like I've always had empathy for people within that got caught up in this healthcare shit and lost loved ones to it. Because I read stories and stuff, and that's why I read even awful shit, just to at least understand what it's like to be on the other side of something I've never experienced. At least sometimes it bothers me when I read stuff I read, but it does give me knowledge of understanding how shit is fucked up and how it could be better too. I mean, as much as doom and gloom as it is, I'd rather know about this and then try to help create a better future by talking about this. Or, because I'm not trying to go out there and smoke somebody. I'd rather talk about it.
Right.
I'd rather be a conversation first, before it gets to this point, man. And unfortunately, it had to get to this point where a CEO had to get dropped just so we could talk about this in an awful... And my situation, as bad as my situation is, I always think about other people who, like, when I was going to the hospital, I saw people who had loved ones in far worse situations than my dad. Far worse. It's unimaginable, man. Dudes like tumors growing out the head and eyeballs popping out because they like awful shit. And they had healthcare, it was too expensive. Oh, man.
Yeah.
So,
I got to take a look real quick.
Yeah, sorry.
Be right back, guys.
Yes, sir.
All right, what else do we have on this healthcare CEO?
I think that's all I got, man. This is still brand new news. A lot of shit coming out. I'll try to bring up more if we ever come across any big shit about it. We'll bring it up on the show for sure.
Oh yeah, like another thing, they said like he had a back problem where it showed like a scan of his back, and he had like a bolton, like it's kind of like he got scoliosis or something.
Is that what it is? I was like, okay,
it probably was. Oh damn, Bob
okay.
just got into a chat. Like you missed everything. You missed all the juicy stuff.
You missed it.
Well,
man.
like as I was saying earlier, the dude he left some Easter eggs on his Instagram. The guy Luigi, the guy who shot the healthcare guy. He left like a Pokemon. I think the Pokemon was like number 286 or 289, one of those things, right? And then if you look up the Bible verse like 28:6 or 28:9, one of those Bible verse, it talks about something about like with the human with greed and stuff. Like you should. It's something about greed. But yeah, and then they said his last post happens to be like 286 posts. So I don't know. Maybe he's trying to be mysterious before his way out.
Yeah.
Because
I mean, look.
Some people think like that. Like they're like, oh, if I'm gonna go out, I'm gonna like set all these encrypted messages, but not too hard, you know?
Yeah, just enough for like if you know type crowd.
Right. Like if you know, like all right, I'm put this Pokemon. I don't even like this Pokemon, but he happens to be the same Bible verse.
Just follow the breadcrumbs.
Mine would all be in Morse code, but go ahead.
I think it's bizarre how because I mean I sound like he's like a rich dude. This Luigi sounds like he's a rich guy, and
in a mansion.
Sometimes, man, I feel like he will have a better understanding more about how awful this shit is than us normally folks. I mean, yeah, we understand how awful the healthcare is, but he's rich and he doesn't benefit off of like. He's rich. Like healthcare wasn't an issue for him. It sounds like, or maybe it was at some point. We'll see how this unfolds. But at the end of the day, it sounds like he's trying to do it for the people because I actually forgot this part too. They had found like bullet casings at the scene where he shot the guy. Almost forgot this.
Right.
And
Triple D, right?
Huh?
The triple Ds.
Yes, and he wrote this on like with a Sharpie on each of the shell casings. It says deny, defend, and depose, which are all like legal terms used by the United Healthcare when they turn people down for healthcare. They use that in like legal terms within like I can send you a letter, email, or whatever, let you know like, hey, yeah, we don't cover the cost of your heart attack. Good luck paying out of pocket or going in debt. And so he had a reason. He was there to like fight for the little man. It's wild, man. And the irony of it all is, too, he got turned in by a fucking McDonald's employee.
What's funny about
the irony of it all, man. That was his downfall.
Yeah. Look,
one of us little people.
Yeah, like, what's funny about all that, right? I remember seeing a meme where they said, if you guys see this guy, you didn't see nothing. Because it's basically like the internet telling people, hey, don't snitch on this guy.
Don't say nothing, yeah.
Right. So I was like, that's so crazy, you know? Because I'm still thinking, I'm like, all right, this dude just murdered somebody, and now the internet is taking his side, like he's like the hero, and say, hey, if you guys see him, don't say nothing. I thought that was crazy, but then I look at the background and everything. I was like, yeah, it's crazy, but it's still crazy, like how like the internet works. Yeah, and I'm not trying to pick a side. It's like, oh, you're on the corporate side. Like, no, it is crazy, right?
This is insane. This year's already been fucking bonkers. We ended it with like a CEO getting smoked. I can't even tell you the last time a CEO got done like this ever. At least in my lifetime. At least I don't remember. And then it happened in New York too. Because that's the thing that boggles a lot of people. It's like, hey, this camera's all over New York. I think New York got the most cameras than any damn major city on earth. Like they've got cameras everywhere. And this guy got away for. I thought he was gonna get away because it went past 3 days. I'm like, y'all still haven't found this dude? I was like, oh my god, he got away. Like they usually find people like damn near 48 hours on cameras out there, but he like it just shows how crazy the situation is. I guess is what I'm trying to think of. It shows that because for somebody who follows politics, I see like the venom in politics. People just kind of want to progress and move forward, and another group of people want to go back, and it's becoming this control thing over versus free will type stuff. And like, why y'all trying to pose this on us when why don't y'all just let live? It's these two major ideologies smashing into each other in politics. Politics became this thing of it's no longer just a conversation. It's like a moral stand now on difference between right and wrong, and that's why people like extremely passionate about it.
Yeah, it should have always been like that.
And real shit, man. And it, out of all the times I've seen in politics, and I've seen both sides. I read both sides of the argument, and then I kind of make my own terms of what I think might be the right thing that's best for, in a humane way for all of us as a country. There's something I always notice though. Nobody likes CEOs. I don't give a fuck what you believe in as politics. So when I heard a CEO got shot in New York, I was like, oh my God. The general public's going to go with this because the general public do not like CEOs or corporations. Especially the fucking healthcare is hated so much in America. I knew it was going to generate some type of like fever and spread the conversation. So that's why I immediately got on social media. I was like, oh shit, what are they talking about? And of course, everybody was like, you know what? We will come together like Voltron and be like, you know what? We're going to stick it to the man.
Damn. Yeah.
Weird, man. A lot of loved ones, man. Like I said, like 40, like was it 30, like 36,000 to like 44,000 people die annually off of healthcare, and this has been going on since the 2000s, since 2001. It's been like revved up until where it's been like they said like at this point like altogether, if you really break it down, maybe like more like 8 million a year. But if they kind of like crunch the numbers down a little bit more, it's more like probably like 44,000 like at the max. But I've been hearing stories about like it might be like damn near 8 million people die from lack of healthcare, and that's because we ain't even talking about the people who don't even have healthcare and who can't afford it. We just talking about the people that's been denied, and well, we've been talking about people who can't afford it too, but the people that's not even on a healthcare at all, just homeless people dying. So that's a whole nother number you gotta look at too. So crazy, but this I kind of wish they never caught him because I was like, you know, I want these CEOs to stay up late at night. Like just let them be like, is he under the bed?
Know,
yeah, man.
Yeah, I saw this other meme where they're saying like, hey, like you know, CEOs, like you guys should all get in a submarine just in case somebody tries to kill you.
It's gonna happen, man. And the reason why I know this is gonna happen soon and why this is gonna become more of a commonplace, because one is because America is such a greedy fucking place. They never accounted for all of us having guns. See, the other side of this, too, is that everybody and their mama has a damn gun in this country. There's actually more guns than people in America right now as we speak, man. I actually heard they ran numbers at the CDC one time showing that every single person, man, woman, and child in America could at least own 2 guns right now. If they just gave guns to everybody will have 2 in America. Damn. That's how many guns America has. And it's because America allows this unfettered manufacturing of guns in America, which to a point where Mexican cartels buy their guns from America. They don't talk about that shit on the news. That's why the cartel wars keep going on, because they have guns that they buy from America, because America mass produces guns. So now you have the 1%ers who are being greedy. They're trying to put the toothpaste back in a tube, from what it seems, using the media to tell us, hey, calm down. But they don't realize, like, everybody got a fucking gun now, so you can't really stop this at all. And that's why you got like people like Mark Zuckerberg building compounds in Hawaii right now. Building a massive compound. We talked about it before, like some time ago. Massive damn compound in Hawaii. And people wondering why. Well, why is he doing this? Why is he doing this? Remember that movie, not Don't Look Up. What's the damn movie where, I can't think of it. It's like some kind of end of the world movie that was on Netflix. But they talk about like everybody that got a phone call with like rich folks. And it's kind of like it pays to have money because you get the information first before everybody else on the bottom.
Gerard Butler was in it, right?
That's another one. That's the second one. I'm thinking about another movie. The one with
it's like a meteor about to come down, and then everybody got the phone call, and then like, oh shit, and then all the big people got the main phone call.
Damn, that's okay. It's 2 movies I'm thinking of. There's 2 movies in. Yeah. Because Gerard Butler, and there's another one with Julia Roberts. I forget the damn name of it, but it's all about like people who have like any type of status in this country. They always see the shit downfall first before us at the bottom, and they kind of like, dude, they building up, man. They see it coming. They don't know what to do with this country. Yeah.
It is like that, and
that's my theory. What's going?
I think it is like that. Like I think that's how the shit ride. Like you know, the people at the top, the people at the next level, they all get the call way before we get that shit, or we even see that shit on the news or whatever, on the radio or whatever. We're all the way at the bottom.
Information pays. Yeah, information ain't free.
It's okay because we know what's on the other side.
I don't think I can help me go to sleep at night with this whole situation.
We know what's on the other side.
Yeah, we've seen it.
Yeah, I see a whole battalion ship on the other side. I'm like, dude, we got this shit. Like, they can't fuck with us like this. Like, we had a whole battalion ship, like, probably cloaked out already, on standby, like, for us.
Dude, it's like I don't know if you ever seen the movie Endgame with the Avengers movie. At the very end of the movie, when Captain America's like, like before he says Avengers Assemble, you see all these portals open up and all these superheroes come through like backup after he's about to get defeated. He's Thanos was whipping his ass. And he's like,
that's our shit. We got that shit.
That's like that shit.
Yeah, that's our shit. Like, don't worry. Like, dude, there's a ship on standby, and there's a lot of people on there just waiting to be like, give us a call. And then those people like they think, oh, they're rich and famous. No, they get fucked up.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, I feel like I don't know how this is going to turn out. I know I'll be safe. I'll be safe in all this mess because we a part of the people too. This is all right. We'll see what happens going forward. I'm waiting for the government to start cracking down on guns because when they start, I've been saying this for a while, and I'm trying to keep this. I'm waiting for them to start deleting politicians when they really start going for it. And I hope it never gets to that point. Loud. Okay, but I'm just saying like I'm expecting it, but I hope it never gets to that point, man. I hope it's kind of like, hey, from the top realizes, hey, let's kind of quell some of this shit and break it down before there's an uprising with all these people with goddamn guns.
It could get very bad.
Yes, I'm hoping that it starts from the top before the bottom rises up too much. Like, hey, like help the people out, man. If you gotta raise wages and fix this fucking healthcare system, then do it.
If you think about it, like the overall everything that's happening. And he had to do this one thing. I know it's not little because it still is murder. But this one thing could actually change the overall aspect of how all that shit is being ran. It could fix a lot of problems. And
it could, man. And
sure,
at the end of the day,
it didn't have to go that extreme. But like, how more extreme like could you go? Or could you go less to where that shit is going to be fixed?
Exactly. Because, for example, if he did this... If he didn't do this, would this be the topic for Tuesday's episode?
No, it wouldn't.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And even though I was aware of this, I was never something I was like, well, why we got to talk about healthcare? Because most people can't, like, understand it. And even I don't probably even understand it. But I understand, like, yo, this shit is way too fucking expensive. And, look, he got it. National hero now.
Everybody's talking about, like, healthcare. Like, oh, shit. Oh, yeah, healthcare. Like, oh, they fuck with people like that. Like, see, a lot of people didn't know that.
Yeah, it's been
I barely knew that.
I just know about because just through watching politics.
Yeah, that shit did put that whole shit on the map where you question it like, hey, is that shit really fucked up like that? And apparently that shit is fucked up like that because a lot of people are being fucked up and they're like, yeah, salute this guy.
I'm wondering if, because they got his ass locked up now for first degree murder because of the, and I think they kind of went off of like he wrote on the bullet casings, which shows premeditated. I think that's what they're trying to go with. Like, okay, he planned it.
Yeah.
He got second degree murder for the handgun. I'm not sure why he got second degree for. I don't know, because 3D. I don't know. Have they ever even charged a 3D gun before in a crime? I don't know how they would even do this. But it's what if they're gonna do is if this starts revving up people even more, I wouldn't be surprised if they try to do his trial at a secret location so people don't show up outside the courthouse trying to do some wild shit or something. Kind of like they do like a black site or some shit. I don't know. My conspiracy brain's going off the rails with this, but they realize that we have a hero on our hands, and
I don't know. Hero, but I mean,
a hero in their eyes, because for me, man, he shouldn't have done it, man. I get this dude is an awful person or whatever. I just wish it didn't get to this point.
Yeah, because I
at the end of the day,
didn't get that point.
I'm pretty sure he's got loved ones and family members. He got 2 kids too. What I saw. So
it's crazy. Like, you don't know about how the families feel. Like they're probably crushed and shit.
They know a whole side of him that we'll never see.
At the end of the day, it should have never got like to this point. Like it could have been done, in a civilized manner where nobody got hurt. But I think throughout the years where none of that shit was being, taken seriously about how they're gonna fix like the whole healthcare system, where something like this is bound to happen. It's like inevitable. Like it was gonna happen regardless. Somebody was gonna do it, and he happens to be that dude.
A man that sounds like he had a bunch of empathy for people lesser than him.
Exactly, and how you're saying like he was well off. He came from like a family where they had no issues with money. They can pay for whatever health issues that they're dealing with. So like this shit was personal. Not like personal like for him, but like he saw it from like the other like I guess vantage point where a lot of other people were getting affected. Like, hey, shit, like you guys are getting fucked up, or he saw probably friends getting fucked up. Like, damn, like you guys got to deal with all that shit, and then they didn't have money to pay for it because blah blah blah, all this shit with the insurance company.
Right. It might be one of those things. It's kind of like maybe in his brain, because it seemed like he ain't. Like, obviously, this man ain't dumb, man. This man got a pretty solid academic record, man. And for what it shows, like, I mean, not what it shows, but I'm thinking that too. If he thought this far ahead, like being empathetic to want to help out the little man, and when it comes to this whole healthcare thing, what if he felt like, well, I'm going to do it too because I can afford a lawyer? Most people can't afford this shit.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But he's kind of like, I can afford to do this. They can't. Because most people, I say I trouble because I can't afford no damn lawyer. Not on that. I ain't got one on retainer. I put it like that. So, I mean, I don't know. I'm curious to see how this trial turns out, man. I want to see what was going through his mind and how deep he thought into it.
I'm curious about that too. But like for sure, like he did do the murder. He did commit murder, and all that shit was all premeditated. He should be, you know. They should do whatever you do with murderers.
Yeah, and
that
they said
part
that
makes sense. Like, what, it was life, right? He's probably facing life.
Life, yeah, and of course I can see like how they like investigators are gonna ask him questions like, "Are you part of any kind of group?" That's the one thing. Yeah. Like, are there more of you?
I'm pretty sure he's facing life.
So, where y'all at?
Yeah,
they're gonna dig.
Dude, if they would have gave me like the option, it should like life or death penalty, I'd be like. In the neck.
Make it quick.
I was like, put me on Ambien. No, put me on Ambien. No, give me cocaine first, right? And then put me on Ambien, put me asleep, and then do whatever. Run me over with a tank.
He might go to prison and might be a hero. He might fucking be like, yo, cause everybody got a loved one, man. Everybody. Somebody got some. Most people have a loved one.
Yeah.
People in prison probably got mothers and fathers in hospitals, and healthcare suck, and they stuck in prison, losing their mind over it. He might his reach is very far with this, man.
It already blew. Like, I've never even thought about healthcare like that until this week.
People don't notice, man.
Until this week, yeah. I was like, oh shit, that shit is bad.
That's the one thing I never accounted for. That was the one thing I never accounted for. I never expected this type of movement behind it. I kind of expected like, okay, the typical usual political heads that keep on politics. Get behind, pick a side, whatever. But I kind of figured that most people that follow politics would, at least normal folks that follow politics, would get behind this. I didn't think people outside of this realm would start be like, oh shit, there's a problem with healthcare. I didn't see that coming.
Yeah, exactly.
Didn't see it for a second.
Well, finally, like this shit is like fucking front page news, right? Big deal. Man, it's huge deal. Yeah.
Big deal, man.
And he had to be that egg that got scrambled. But he
got him like yeah, right. He had to be. Yeah. I already got him like in a maximum security prison right now.
So they should.
They trying to like, and they got him on suicide watch right now. They're trying to.
So they should.
You won't see the judge. They trying to.
Right. Yeah. So I mean, to me, I'm thinking like he knew he was gonna get caught, but then I'm thinking, if you're printed a 3D gun, you expect to escape at the same time, right?
At least make your chances better.
Yeah, like he definitely was trying to do it without getting caught.
Well, the thing was though, he seemed to be on the run because he seemed to be dodging everything because like 3 days ago they caught him at McDonald's right before he went out there to go out in the street to take out the CEO. He was in a McDonald's nearby, and they caught him on camera smiling at some. I'm not at McDonald's, sorry. Starbucks. He was at a Starbucks nearby. They caught him on camera, like smiling and everything. That's when the whole assassin bait came out. So they had his face. It seemed like his downfall was a McDonald's employee in Pennsylvania, and the reward was like $50,000. I ain't gonna call this person a snitch like everybody is, and I'm pretty sure the internet is trying to hunt this person down. But at the same time, I don't know what type of person this life is living. Working at McDonald's, they probably be on some hard times. Maybe this is just, look, I can't judge people sometimes on this shit. I get it. The hate train is strong for a lot of people, but I don't know what this person's going through to make him make that choice. I can't say I wouldn't do it if I was like hurting for money. But me, if I saw him walking down the street right now, which I'm okay, I ain't saying nothing. I'm gonna be like,
look, I mean, yeah, like when you look at it deeper, like it does like make sense, but at the end of the day, he did still kill somebody. So
he did. At the end of the day, no matter how you want to flip it,
the dude that made the call for him, I think that was appropriate. It had to be done. Like, it's still a crime, you know? Like,
At the end of the day, man, despite how we're biased.
Exactly. Like, at the end of the day, somebody did got murdered. Broad daylight. It happened. It needs, like, the dude needs to be handled.
Right.
It's normal, yeah.
And at the end of the day, though, they take him in, they go through trial. Look, this already started the conversation, so more people gonna be tuning into this trial. You better believe that shit. That shit better be on court TV. That shit gonna be.
I don't know.
Everybody gonna be watching it.
Shit, I don't know. It's gonna be like the Johnny Depp Amber Heard case. That'd be crazy.
We haven't had a good trial in a minute. It's been a while.
That would be Diddy wild. Might be next. I mean, I don't know. I think that one might be too sensitive for it to be even like a broadcast live.
Yeah, I think the media and these corporations are kind of worried about a revolution. So they be like, hey, you know what? We can't televise this because if y'all hear what he got to say, it might rile y'all up.
Yeah, because it's huge. I mean, it's the whole healthcare system. Like, that's
we all need it.
All big money, dude. That's big money shit, dude. That's how they make the money. They don't make money on people that's healthy, do they? No. They don't make money on healthy people, so they don't tell people how to get healthy.
I'd be shocked if he comes out in trial or something. He's like, I'm going to take the witness stand. He's like, I want all the American people to know there's a cure for cancer. And like,
that I got would never fly ever.
Man, they gonna take him. I won't be surprised to take him out of prison. I don't know. I got so many conspiracies. Oh, let me stop. I don't know what's happening.
Here's the thing. I feel like anything can happen now.
Yeah.
Like, I don't say no to anything anymore because all this weird shit is already happening. I think something happened. Like, I feel like there's like a veil that's been lifted or a contract has been already expired. I think anything is open for anything. Like, it's like fair game now. Because just off topic, just a little bit. There's been so many UFO videos around the world showing so many lights in the sky, like dozens of lights in the sky, from Asia to here in the U.S., from Mexico, Australia. They're all filming all these lights in the sky. I'm like, shit, like, what's going on? Like, nobody's trying to cloak no more. Like, nobody's trying to hide.
Just pass it through now.
Like, I don't think they need to hide anymore. Like, that's the thing. Like, it's all fair game now. Contract is lifted. Nobody has to hide. Aliens, they can walk amongst us. I mean, it's fair game. They're out here.
Use Earth as a pit stop to refuel and then bounce.
Yeah, I think it's like it's fair game. It's whatever. If you're an alien, you come out here and walk, be a basketball star.
All right, man.
If you want to go politics, you be a politician.
Hell yeah, definitely a politician. That'd be the best way to hide to me. Or unless you want to live on a farm.
Dude, probably half the politicians are damn aliens, man.
Man, beep boop, like blur blur. They are.
Yeah, put your skin on. Put your skin back on. I was gonna say somebody's name, but
which one?
I don't want to get into politics.
No, I've been trying to steer away from this whole topic. I've been like, this situation kind of like is political, but it's kind of like I'm gonna keep it like down to like like this. Because all real shit.
Yeah, it's real.
This a lot of people can't, like, I haven't seen Americans come together like this. My mom says since
9/11, right?
My mom said since 9/11.
Yeah.
She said that was less.
Yeah, exactly. Since 9/11.
I said Epstein, but 9/11 was like the real big, like, if you was there, you remember how this country was. But it was like
everybody came together.
Was like this.
Yeah, dude. My dad even had a flag on the damn mailbox.
But it was like a wild.
All right, we're getting patriotic out here.
America was like, kill everybody brown outside this fucking
place. No, we're coming together as a whole, United States. Yeah, but that was like divided states again.
Yeah, this has always been weird here.
I got to take a quick bathroom break. Be right back. All right, and we are back. Is that it for the healthcare guy?
Yeah, that's it, man. I think we went on longer than I was expecting, but that was good. I mean, this is a good conversation.
Yeah, it was good. Like, you guys can clock out now if you guys want to hear the rest of the podcast. You guys like Diddy, right? Or Diddy News? Sure,
it was good. I really haven't been keeping up with Diddy like that because I'm like, I'm going to wait for the trial. I'm not going to...
Well, I have like this little small thing about Diddy, what I heard, right? You ever heard like Diddy like telling people, if they can put an egg in their butthole without smashing, they could be put in like the crew. Like they could be one of the Diddy crew.
No, I've never.
Yeah, so like these people, it's just word on the street. They're like, all right, if you could get an egg to go in your butthole without it crushing, you could be a part of the whole Diddy crew. And people were doing that shit. And they got their butthole so wide open to where it just sucks up that egg and releases that egg without it being cracked. And like, all right. Diddy was like, okay.
So the egg goes in and then comes back out. They got to push it out?
Yeah, once the egg go in, they can push it back out. It doesn't crack. That means you're ready for all.
Do you know if it was
work.
like...
Yeah.
Do you know if it was like hard boiled or soft?
No,
or
soft.
Was it,
it's soft.
Damn.
Like raw egg.
I was thinking like, what if it was like
it's not hard boiled.
What's that damn egg in the Philippines with the chicken still in
balut?
it? Was it a balut?
Yeah, balut. Yeah, it's not that. No, it's a raw egg with a yolk.
Damn, you gotta be gentle with that. You gotta be like slowly push it out.
Shit, but if you're loose, easy work.
I can kind of see the process. I can kind of see the process. Go to the Diddy party, get that work in from behind, and then when you want to get to the big leagues, all that from behind, drop the egg.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You get fucking a golden ticket into Diddy's world. Who would want to be in that world?
Bored rich people.
Right, rich people that's seen it all.
We gotta go to work, man. We ain't got time for that shit. We got bills to pay. We ain't got no time to be push eggs out our butt.
I pushed the egg out my butt. All right, so moving on. I don't even know why that was in my notes for like extra bonus. But
that was even news?
Yeah, that was in my extra bonus news. All right, let's move on. All right, so New York Post. This is what Bob sent me. So Pope Francis to open 5 sacred portals on Christmas Eve for a ritual that's never been done before. Have you ever heard about this?
Hell no.
Yeah, so Pope Francis, he's out here trying to open up 5 sacred portals on Christmas Eve. And so kicking off December 24th, Christmas Eve, Pope Francis will open 5 holy doors across the Vatican to mark the Catholic Church Jubilee 2025 tradition, and this has been going on for over 25 years.
2 weeks from now.
Yeah, so on the 24th, he is gonna start opening up these doors, these portals, right?
Bob says they're gonna air it. They're gonna air it on TV, online.
I don't know if they're gonna air it, but I saw images like of these doors and stuff. Like this is actually real doors, and I guess he does whatever he does to these doors, and then he I don't know, blessed doors or something. But the new thing that he's doing this year, which is breaking new ground, is that he's gonna open up a holy door in a prison. Then this is gonna be happening on December 26th, the day after Christmas. So Pope Francis will be making history by opening a holy door in Rome Rebibbia prison for the first time like ever in this location. This is like the new thing. Like there's like all these doors that he's opening up like across like the whole Vatican and stuff. But the new thing is he's opening up a door within the prison. Like think about a spiritual door, right? In a prison. Think about this. I'm getting like certain vibes. I'm getting drug vibes. I'm getting smuggling vibes. I'm getting all those vibes.
This is like CERN. This is like CERN vibes for me, but on a supernatural level, not on a science level. Just kind of like
on a ultimate supernatural level. Like, what do you think is going on? Like, opening up a doorway, a portal to like the heavens and stuff, like in a prison.
We about to get sacrificed, man. Look, I just started reading H.P. Lovecraft's like Cthulhu series and shit like that, and all these short stories of like these small pocket towns that a person comes and visits, and that person never leaves the town again because they got sacrificed. Because the whole town is in on some kind of like weird sacrifice to sacrifice this one person just to keep the gods off our back for another century. It only happens like once a century. Whatever, it might be one of them things. I don't know.
Right. Yeah, it could be.
I don't know. I feel it. Something's weird.
Yeah, so like the public is feeling like, all right, there's like a heartfelt gesture like towards the inmates, and like, oh yeah, like sure, like the Pope, like his understanding, like the people that's in prison, they're going through a lot of stuff. Like this is probably like their way to heal and learn from their mistakes and get over it. And he happens to put one of these doors in there like right after Christmas in the prison. Which I can see like from that point of view, but then I can see like if you're thinking like crazy, like all right, maybe he's putting that portal there on purpose. Because if like the demons come out of that doorway right in the prison, nobody even say anything like, oh yeah, there's a crazy person in prison, like oh duh is in prison. But let's say the demons were coming out of this prison and they were possessing like the bodies of these inmates.
Oh,
right.
Yeah,
that shit would be weird. That's like another gateway, like for the demon world to come out and come up into this world where it makes sense. Like, all right, they come out of prison. Of course, it's crazy people,
right? And it just
could
be
be something.
It's kind of, I was just thinking about what's that movie? Hereditary. Yeah, you ever seen that movie?
Yeah, I watched it at Bob's house on like 7 grams of mushroom.
Man, that movie's crazy as shit.
It was bad.
Oh, that sounds awful too.
Yeah, it was bad. I had to leave. I was like, I could hear the whole house. I could hear everything.
That's an awful movie to watch on 7 grams, man.
Yeah, I saw everything, dude. I saw every door, everything, every mistake the person made in that little toy house.
Oh, you didn't look.
I saw everything. I was like, I have to leave. Like, I can hear everything. I can hear a jar from downstairs in the backyard. I heard everything.
It's like
that was like the strongest like mushroom shit I've ever been on. And then when I was driving, I told you what happened.
Yes, I was about to say that. I was like, that's the story you told me when you had to drive like a long time
I had to drive home, and I was like, this was a mistake. I should have never drove home.
I didn't know you watched Hereditary that night.
It was the Hereditary. They played that movie at their house, and then
at least I don't remember.
I drove home. Dude, it was the scariest fucking drive home because I was like, I could get pulled over so easy because I can't feel the pedals, dude. The gas pedal, it felt like clouds. It was like I was stepping on a cloud. I was like, what the hell?
So mushy.
Yeah, I was like, I'm stepping on a cloud right now. And I'm like one exit away from the house. I was like, get me home, please.
I'm glad you made it,
I'll never
man.
do it again. Yeah, it was so crazy.
But that's what I was thinking with the Pope thing was like, kind of like in the movie Hereditary, where you want to find out, like, spoiler alert, whoever nobody's seen this movie, I ain't gonna go too deep into it, but you want to find out the deceased grandmother was a part of a cult, and she sold her family up the river, and they all got basically wiped out because she wanted to be rich or whatever. That's kind of like the long short of it.
Yeah, yeah.
And I kind of wonder, just now us talking about this with the Pope and the Vatican, what if a deal was made, like we talk about contracts and stuff, was like, hey, humanity, you'll be able to prosper for this amount of time, but there's an expiration date for this contract. When it's up, you have to forfeit X amount of souls to us. But something crazy like that, you know what I'm saying? Like, hey, Vatican, we let you get powerful, Pope. Now you gotta cough it up, human souls,
Dude,
maybe.
Yeah. Dude, yeah, I don't put anything past like the Vatican.
Too many secrets.
Yeah, dude, that's the crazy thing. Like, everybody's getting caught up with everything. Imagine the Vatican, like all their secrets being exposed. Imagine like the impact on, like, not just like the world, but like a whole world religion.
It would change a lot of things, man.
It's huge.
The Pope is like got to be the most revered person on earth, man. That's everything stops for the Pope, man. Nobody really be trying to go out there and. I mean, he'll show up in any country and people just like everybody just drop down. Crazy, man. I mean, obviously he can't go to the Middle East. In the Middle East, they probably work like Middle East would tear his ass
Like when you
apart.
say drop down, you mean like bend the knee, right?
Yeah, like everybody's like bends a knee to him everywhere he goes,
yeah.
man. Like people who you think are the most
shit is crazy. Like these world leaders, right? They would go to like the Pope, bend the knee to the Pope, kiss the ring and everything. I'm like, damn, like what kind of power this guy got?
world leaders with nuclear codes, bro. Like taking these.
Exactly. I got the
what?
fingerprint to fucking blow a country up. I have to bend the knee to the Pope.
What does he have? What does he have?
Dude, it has to be power beyond
power.
Like, it's not for us to know.
I think it's more than just a belief. They know. It ain't just belief.
Yeah, it ain't even a belief. Like, that shit is fucking real shit. Like, hey, this is how this shit runs.
And Bob says too. Bob says too. She watches them every year, mass at midnight. Barbara's religious.
Yeah, she's Catholic.
Me too, but I don't rep it though. I'm horrible at it. I'm like
I used to rep a Christian, but not no more.
I've been baptized and everything. I got baptized when I was like 2, man. I'm talking about the whole dunked in the water and everything. I don't remember none of it.
All that is cool, dude. Like if it vibrates for you, like that's your shit. Like, and it's okay.
I really don't.
Yeah, but if it doesn't, like, it's okay. It's okay too. Like for me, it's like all religion is okay.
Cool, man. Just don't hurt nobody.
It does, yeah. Just don't fucking hurt nobody because you think your shit's better. Like, no, stop. Practice your religion. Everybody's okay.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, it's your own shit. Like even when you die, you probably still practice like the same religion. That's what I think. This is what I saw too. It's all okay. All that is okay. It's all a coping mechanism, like how you cope with reality. Like, you need to attach yourself to something. If that
anchor.
shit, it's your anchor. You find your anchor. If that shit makes you feel good, stick with it.
Right.
I believe you don't gotta put that shit on other, like everybody else. Like if that helps you, that helps you, and it's all okay.
Everybody has different ways of coping, man.
Exactly.
Some people don't need to believe in something. And kind of like me, for example. As the older I'm getting, I'm becoming a little bit more spiritual. But I'll never co-sign with nothing until we get this story right about what's really running this. But for the most part, I do think of more of like, hey, come on, let's worry about what's here first on this planet before we. Why am I trying to put the cart before the horse? Like I'm not even at the next stage. Let's kind of like learn here, and then boom, then we go to the next side when we go, whenever it's time. Just try to look out for each other now.
Yeah, just look out for each other, help each other out, and shit, we'll be out here in no time.
The life is short, man. It's. I'm turning 40 next year. I'm like, oh my god, I felt like I was just 19. Like I remember 19.
Yeah,
now
we're
here
not
I am.
young no more, and what's guaranteed is we leave this body behind. That's guaranteed. What I know, like for me, myself, what I believe, when I'm done here, I guaranteed I know I'm going somewhere else. Some people, they think like this shit ends. It does not end.
Thought about that.
You'll be back in line at the DMV waiting for a car. You're like, holy shit, like what the fuck? Like we still gotta wait in line.
Number 1 billion, 1.2 billion. That's your
your number. Blah 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 blah. You gotta wait here. I'm like, what the fuck? I just fucking died on Earth. Like, yeah. Wait in line. Yeah, this shit is fucking. It's bonkers, dude. It is bonkers, man. Like the best way I can describe this shit, like it's just what I saw from my own experience on drugs. You ever seen that show on Disney? Low-key time traveler, dude?
I did. I saw
that's probably like the closest thing like I can think of, like when shit hit the fan and shit is done. You're waiting in line and there's people there, like you're at a DMV and it continues. Yeah, I was like, what the fuck? I was like, there's still fucking laws, rules, and a government that you have to abide by. Like, it still happens even after you die, which is the craziest shit that I saw.
Laws exist everywhere, even outside of this, man.
Dude, that was what blew my brain. And then I was trying to get to the end of it. I was like, this shit is infinite. I was like, all I could do was just laugh about it. I was like, yeah, that's why when you come back like to this life, like when my body came back to like my body here on Earth, I was like, yeah, you could just laugh about it, because the whole shit, it feels like a big ass joke, basically. So just live it like the best you can or whatever.
And live it the best way you can and try to be the best that you can for the people around you that you love.
Yeah.
If you don't love somebody, that's hard,
especially like the people that's around you that doesn't like really know, like just try to make it like the best for them. if you know, you know.
Yeah, man. Be what you would want to be. And be what you would want other people to treat you too, man.
Yeah, exactly.
I remember in the TV show Supernatural, one of my top 5 favorite shows of all time, man. And like the 4th or 5th season, like actually no, I think the 6th season, when this new dude named Crowley, actually Aleister Crowley.
Wow.
He was Aleister Crowley. There's a character, Aleister Crowley. He's one of like the big bads.
That's
so
crazy.
He's kind of like the good guys of the show trust him, but he'll stab you in the back if it means he can elevate himself more. So he's kind of a sometimes a good guy, but because he always wants power, but he kind of just goes wherever benefits him the most. So he's like a wild card.
Right.
But Crowley in like the 6th season of Supernatural takes over hell, and he realized, well, you know what? Because biblically, people that end up in like limbo and stuff, it's supposed to be, but especially with the Catholic religion, I think it's more of like, if you weren't baptized or you were like a miscarriage baby or something, it's like a waiting room type stuff where you have to be, you have to be certified and verified before you can go to either heaven or hell. And so Crowley was like, well, I'm gonna make a DMV line miles and miles long, because since you guys want to be indecisive or don't want to pick a god or what side to choose on, because there's like people who didn't believe in anything either. Like I think atheists fell in this mark too. It was like, if you can't pick a side, then you're gonna just sit in this line for eternity until you get processed through. But it was like a DMV line that went as far as I can see. And it's like, when I think of that, like the in between, I'm like, oh, that's what it is. It's just a big ass waiting room, man.
It could be, and that's the crazy thing about this whole shit. Like, dude, it could be like, imagine if you died and you're in a line.
The thing that every human
hates. Right, to decide, like, hey, are you gonna advance to like whatever the next shit that your soul wants to advance, or does your soul want to stay on Earth and get reincarnated back on Earth and then live another life to, try to make a better life? So when they do die again, when they get to that DMV line, it won't be a long line. They'll be like, all right, yeah, your soul is advancing to the next level. Bloop. Imagine that, right? Imagine you die, you get stuck in your whole worst nightmare, a fucking DMV line.
And there's no time limit, man. It's just kind of like, it might be 5 minutes on Earth.
Yeah.
It might be like 5 minutes on Earth. It might be like 100 years on this other side type shit. This is time doesn't mean nothing anymore, man.
Does not mean not a damn thing, dude. Like, there was this one thing, Bob sent this video about this certain scientist that went on the Joe Rogan podcast. He was talking about how, like, if humanity or if somebody was able to sling themselves, like, across, like, the universe, right? Let's say into, like, the black hole. They say, like, whatever they experience there in that black hole, like, let's say they experience, like, all these magical things, right? By the time they get to tell their story, by the time they go back to Earth, like, it's like over, like, 1 million years has passed on Earth already. So you would never be able to tell your story, even if you're able to travel, like, at a blink of an eye, like, a far across, like, the galaxy into a black hole, whatever the fuck it is. You would never come back to explain your story, because everybody on Earth will be dead already.
Long gone, man. They say like black holes distort time, so when planets get closer to it, things speed up faster than it would be for like normal, what we perceived as normal time for us. Because space is kind of like willy-nilly with space. I mean, well, with time. And so, like, for example, Interstellar. Remember when he got on that water planet and he was there for like 7 minutes, and that was like 8 years on Earth, and he's like, he watched the videotape of like everyone like getting older. People, granddad died. Oh, I got married. I got a kid. You're a grandfather now. Oh, I got a divorce. This was like 8 years of video footage, and he was only there for like an hour or some shit, man. It was wow.
Yeah, that's why like they were freaking like they were in panic mode when they're like in the water on that water planet trying to get back to the spaceship and shit. Because like, holy shit, like every fucking second counts. Because spoiler alert, if you guys never seen the movie, when he got back on that ship, he got back to his planet. He went to go see his daughter because he left his daughter when she was like a teenager. Murph, yeah. And then she went back. He went back to Earth, went to go see his daughter. He's still like the same age, like he's like maybe like mid-40s and shit. He looks at his daughter, an old lady, fragile,
great grandmother, I think.
A grandmother, yeah, fragile, like. Imagine that. Imagine seeing your daughter, right? And she's like looking like an old grandma lady because your ass was out there traveling in space.
and you outlive her, man. She's like, you promised me
Outlive
you will
her.
return. You
Yeah,
promised me.
she lived a whole full life before you ever did.
Trying to find him, man.
Right. And she was a scientist too. Like she was like, fuck. She's like, Dad, come back home. And then he came home when she's on her deathbed.
And he was I think the only reason why he was able to get home was because he went back in time and gave her the coordinates to her through the ghost in the house.
That ghost
I love that
in
movie,
the
man.
damn house. God damn, that movie's crazy.
I love Interstellar, man. Great movie,
Yeah.
man. Great movie, man.
Like Leon, he bought that movie and then he left his account on my TV, so I get to watch that movie all the time, dude.
Yeah. Nah, man. Even Neil deGrasse Tyson came out and like, this is the most accurate space movie I've ever seen. When it comes to like time and stuff and how this shit ain't what you think it is when you go to space, man. You go to space, you come back 10 years. That's like hyperbolic time chamber, but much bigger or some shit.
Right, yeah.
Time passes differently, man. Time is a man-made construct for one. That's how we help us not lose our damn mind.
Shit, I really think all time is happening at this moment, like right now.
Straight
like
up,
me
man.
talking right now, it's like myself in the 60s, 70s, 80s, if I live up to that long, they're all talking right now, dude.
At the same time.
They're probably talking the same shit too. Yeah.
Time wild, man. Time is I think that's one of the greatest accomplishments that us as humans don't really think about, is that probably one of the greatest discoveries is time. And it's easy to like gloss over it because we're so used to it. It's just like such a common thing with humans. But it's kind of like, how the fuck were they tracking the sun back then and getting all these calculations down, man? Ain't no computers. Maybe alien tech, but I don't know what they had back then. But they didn't have what we got today. And I don't know, they was probably more in tune with the stars than we are now.
Dude, have you been outside lately looking up in the sky?
There is shit. Stimulates a million stars from Aussie.
It's like a bunch of stars now. Like you said, it was overhead. Yeah.
I don't know if it's this. I don't know if it's the. Now it maybe it's the season. I'll lean in some normie shit. It might be the season, but yeah, no. Me and Melissa have noticed like, holy shit,
there's more.
It keeps adding more, and honestly, like if there wasn't so much light around us on Earth, you would never see a star. I mean, you always see a star no matter what you looked at. So,
dude, yeah. Yeah, same. I noticed like the same shit. Like every time, you take the dogs out and stuff, I look at the sky all the time. I was like, damn, there's more stars now. Like there's way more stars now.
Brighter ones.
Did something happen? Like what, we got our stars back? Like what happened? Somebody poking up like more holes on the petri dish? Because I believe like we might be living on a petri dish and we're just looking up the sky and there's like a dude with a microscope poking holes in the petri dish.
What if the scientist is like, hey, how about we sprinkle salt on them, see what happens? And it looks like stars to us, but it's like...
acid rain again. Yeah. Damn, all it takes is him to just throw the petri dish in the trash, because I did that before.
I hope not.
I've done that before.
Oh, no.
Dude, I think we're good, because I got to pee, so I got to pee.
Yeah, man, we're good, man.
Yeah.
We did way good.
All right, guys. Thank you guys for joining us tonight. We'll catch you guys next week on Tuesday. Peace out. Adios.
See you guys.